We're wild and have geese. Shooting the breeze with the wild geese.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome back. Shooting the breeze with the wild geese. This is our last episode of the season.
I know.
Oh, and I got a new haircut.
You did. You look flash.
Green.
Oh, she's got the whole
Like it's
world
It's
on
like
her head.
you know, like kind of like country at the side and then dyke to the left.
Yeah, I was thinking like, it's like, is that a Karen? Oh no, wait, it's a dyke.
Yeah. It's like when I was out at the Wallace Bird gig and we were backstage and this guy said to me, he said, I said, I'm looking for, what did he say? Something like, were you at Wallace's gig? Yeah, I saw a lot of people had a haircut like you. I was like, oh. Yes, we're all been sheared, you know. You're a lesbian now.
I
I'm
should
take
be
away half
sheared.
your head, half your hair.
I need a haircut badly. If anybody's out there, are you the goddess? No, joking. If anyone can cut curly hair, because I don't know if anyone else listening has curly hair fear, long curly hair. Anyone with long hair or curly hair, the hairdressers either A, take way too much, or B, they just, jack your shit up because they just don't get it right. It's almost like they just like want you to suffer, It's like, oh yeah, look at all that lovely hair that you've grown. It's all dead at the bottom anyway. And they cut it to like there. And they're like, sure, that's healthier. And you're like, oh my God, my length is gone.
Laura was traumatized for ages.
In fairness, I did let a hippie in a field cut my hair.
Yeah,
so
Earth.
what did I expect? Earth Song. What was his name?
We could talk about Earth Song. Earth Song was good. Anyone out there has
Marquin.
been to Marquin.
Breda could not get his name right because she's such an old Irish man where she just kept calling him Martin.
Martin.
Martin!
He's Martin in Ireland.
His name is Marquin.
Yeah,
And
Marquin.
Breda just could not wrap her lips around it.
Yeah.
He was sound.
He was so sound, yeah.
That was a great Earth Song.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really good.
So that was Earth Song. Recommend it. It's he's on every year. A bit intense to go every year, but I went 10 years. No, like
there's a dance camp and there's a harvest camp, isn't there?
Dance camp, harvest camp. We went to dance camps, more dancing, less singing, perhaps. But there's
a bit of singing.
But you can start in the morning with kirtan, which is like singing, chants like it's a Buddhist thing, or is it?
Yeah.
And
yoga.
Then
I found the sound healing amazing.
Oh, sound healing is amazing. The one called Chris Blanchard, who's based in Wales, and she's the most incredible sound healer. She says things like get high in an A instead of an E.
Yeah.
Should we do a sound? A.
Oh, no, I can't get it. A. That's really low.
That's your heart, though.
Which is green. Visualize the color green.
Anyway, it's lovely. We're going to do that. Maybe we'll do that Stony Banter on Friday. We'll
join everyone in with an A.
Everyone with an A, yeah.
But I loved Earth Song. It was beautiful, like taking a shit in the woods, like in a compost toilet, and like
the toilets are really well made.
There was a river and everything. Like it was so nice.
Good land in Tipperary.
It really helped my mental health, I find, because like right before I went to that, we'd only just started hanging out in a way.
Yeah.
Right before that, I was I had a UTI, went a bit crazy. And you took me to the hospital, God bless you. But then they also, like, just standard practice, they admit you to a few sessions with a psychiatrist. And I was like, sure, listen, I'll take him. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, why not?
Sure, I'm fucked up anyway, so I might as well.
Go on, tell me what's wrong.
So I went to see him, American fella. He's sound, doesn't work there anymore. But he diagnosed me with general anxiety disorder. And I was like, well, that's a fucking generality.
GAD.
Is that a word? Generality? Generalization. Do you know?
It's like the GAD.
Yeah, so I completely ignored it. And like he just I was like, or it's just grief. And he was like, it was nice though. He was like, you just seem like someone who's been through a lot in a short space of time. And I was like, that's pretty accurate. How much are you? 15 grand. I'm like, Jesus Christ. No, I'm joking. But
my friend who's a nurse said she works in Vincent's, and she said it's like the mad, the bad, and the sad.
Yeah.
And now it's the GAD as well. So
yeah.
The mad, the bad, the GAD, and the sad.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's so you can sum up
and the
everyone
AHAD,
in the world.
the AHD,
and the head and the has-beens.
But then he prescribed me some kind of antidepressant or medication or something. But because I'm paranoid about being on meds, I was like, it's not going to make my anxiety any less because I'll just be anxious that I'm on them. And he just kept trying to push them, and I was like, you're typical yank now trying to push the drugs,
on commission or what?
And he was like, oh, just take them. And I went down to the pharmacy and I was like crying because I was like, I don't want to take these. And you're one to this day, whoever you are working in Raheen Pharmacy in Duradoyle,
Raheen.
I can't remember your name, but
Let's call her Mary.
You were so good to me, Mary. You were so good to me in that moment, and I don't think any other pharmacist may or may not have done this. But she saw that I was upset, and she took me into the, you know, the back room where you go into to like tell them that you've been a whore. And you need to have a morning after pill. That was like Joe when my friend when she went in there getting the pill.
Yeah, who was it? Have you done?
No, wait.
Popped knobbing.
This is what he said. He was like, what did he say? He was like, and when did the incident occur? She said he was laughing the whole time. And she was just like,
when did you do
this morning. All morning, all night. No joking. Up top. But your one, Mary, she took me into the back room and was like, look, what's wrong? And I was like, I just don't want to be on medication, la la la. And she was like, you don't have to, blah blah blah. And I was like, well, I'm going to this thing called Earth Song, which is like full of yoga and meditation, and I think that might help first. And she was like, well, do that then. If that's what you think will suit you best, do that first, and then if you still feel bad, you can take them. And I did, and I went to Earth Song.
Yeah,
regrouped
it was
everything.
really great. I mean, you camping like with
I
about
never
9
went on
people,
medication.
and we had a great laugh. We were so giddy hanging out together. We properly had a right good hang for 9 days, didn't we? Like
Also, I'd just like to say that if you are on medication and it works for you, that's cool too.
Yeah,
just saying.
Fine. But we had just little in the tent. Remember, Mark one used to say to us that you could just hear us. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I can't do it. Lipstick on.
Yeah. Just
Breda bursting out massive farts, and I was just laughing all night long.
But you know, there's like really good dancing, you know, like Kaylee dancing and all sorts of things. But I remember years ago, so I went, that was brought you that time, but I was there 11 years previous to that, and was there with my sister and Leela, who was only about 2. And it's really nice for kids, you know. But I was there helping set up, so I was like 14 days altogether in the field, and there was a sauna for people that were there. There was a sauna when we were there, you know, but before it was just for workers. It was just there for temporarily, and so I wasn't in the sauna. I was just walking, naked sauna. So I was up at the gate. There was it said on it, "Beware, this field may contain nuts." I remember that sign.
Oh, that's funny.
And anyway, I was just hanging around there, and the guard came over. This guard, and I said, "How are you, Sergeant?" He goes, "What's going on here now?" And I said, "Oh, it's a fest. It's like a gathering." I said, "But don't worry, there's no drink, drugs, or loud music."
It's a sober festival.
And he said, "What are you doing so?" And then, just in that moment, 2 naked people walked out of the sauna, and I was like, both me and him were like,
Orgy's father, or Garda.
And I was like, I haven't used the sauna yet. He was just like, he might as well have been daddy. I was like, I haven't gone in there. I think it's disgusting.
Meanwhile,
people massaging each other, Sergeant. He just walked away. It was funny. But yeah, so it's really easy to.
That's hilarious. What are you doing in there?
What are you doing? So
That's hilarious.
So funny. And but yeah, it's great.
But we love it. Do you remember we used to get some skit off like the really aggressive hippies? Do you know, they'd be so, you know.
Well, the micromanager, the people that just can't quite let go. It's like, I do everything. And then people try and do something, they try and do it then. It's like, well, I do everything.
But then they also, at the same token, they want to be really chilled and really like love vibes. And sure, it just goes how it goes. But at the same time, we said 3:30. Do you know what I mean? And we just like get some skit up. Do you remember we were in that dance circle? And that girl was getting so aggravated at someone, and she was just like, oh my God, it's left, right, left. And then me and Breda at the same time were just like, love and light. Oh my God. And it was like, everyone laughed, and I think she probably still hates us.
Yeah, whatever. They need to be.
But still,
some hippies need to be taken down and paid.
Yeah, some hippies, you need to be like, you're either in that life or you're not. You know what I mean?
There's a sense of humor at the end of the day, don't you?
There's nothing worse than like an old Nepo baby hippie. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, the Nepo baby hippies. That's funny. I used to call the hot hippies and hoppies. Oh, because they're like really young ones. They were like would massage you. I was young too.
All right, Breda.
I was also young. Could I just clarify? And being in a sauna, getting massaged, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The next day, then you see the guard in the sauna.
Oh yeah, I told you it was good, huh?
Just doing a bump of K.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the Earth Song. But Yeah, good time. So that's on again this year. I mean, it's look it up. Earth
They're
Song.
they're quite good for the old activism as well. Like I learned a lot about like birds and the cutting of the hedges and
Well, you see,
cetera, et
what's lovely
cetera.
about people living in nature like that for like 9 days, 10 days, you really like. There's no electricity. You cook for each other on the fire. You become really aware of the elements around you, and you become anyone. If you want to
And there's
care
no
about nature,
phones.
just go and live in nature for even a week, and you'll start to become, or take mushrooms, whatever you want. But just literally, you become part of it. So yeah, there was a protest there the other day now, or a few weeks ago, with the hedgerows, the cutting of the hedgerows. It's not necessarily the cutting of hedgerows; it's the ripping out of hedgerows. Lost like 3,000 kilometers thanks to the expansion of dairy. This is, greedy dairy farmers again. Greedy. I'm not saying only dairy farmers are greedy. The greed again. It drives me mad because it's like, it's just no need for it. I don't see it. There's my friend's farm in Ballyhaunis, for example. You can see it from the sky. She has a lovely, it's like 27-acre old, hedgerows, like the stone where someone used to sit, and it's got character. The fields have a name and everything like this. The same. She's surrounded by these people that are ripping out hedges and like basically use the ground as a factory floor. So they'll level the whole thing. They'll reseed
And
it.
the hedgerows, is that like when you're driving down a road and you see like bushes on the edge?
Yeah, that's
like
the
in the ditch.
hedgerows.
That's the hedgerows.
But
Okay.
they're like cut to bits anyway for traffic and stuff. So
But then they can't come out on top of the cars though.
yeah, exactly. So then people should be growing the hedgerows inside the field, but they don't. They cut them back and cut them really thin because every single piece of ground is measured. You want to get money on every single piece of ground. So they need
But
to
what's the
change
crack with
that.
hedgerows? Like, does it grow like berries and nuts? Like it's stuff that you can
The
eat?
hedgerows are our rainforest. They have been so old, the hedgerows in Ireland. They are like the oldest. It's like the rainforest in the Amazon. They have a similar disposition or
Well, they
composition.
create rain.
But they're just they basically sequester more carbon than anything. You couldn't make a machine.
Sequester.
You couldn't make a machine that would do as well
Sexy
as
word.
a
Spell it.
hedgerow. Good.
Spell it.
Sequester. Sequest.
Esther.
Esther.
The molester. Sorry.
But
Steve
yeah,
Grinder.
so we at home now, Daddy hasn't cut hedgerows, but we a couple of my favourite fields are the ones with bushy hedges all around,
Yeah, no, you like a bushy
we used to
hedge,
love
darling.
collecting nuts.
So I've
gosh.
heard.
God, my granddad now, in fairness, she was born in 1900. So okay, she's a long time dead now. Well, she's dead in 1990, but she buckets of
She was
nuts.
born in the 1900s and died in 1990. What did you just say?
She born in 1900 and died in 1990.
So she was what?
90.
90. Carry the one. I'm not good at maths. Oh
Yeah,
my god,
imagine.
90. Fair play to her.
Yeah.
Good genes there,
So my
Brie.
other grandaunt, Marianne, was 100 when she died in 1988. She was born in 1888.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. And that's my two aunts, Auntie Ellie and Marianne. And
Is Auntie Ellie the one with the glass eye?
Yeah, she had two glass eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fair
Thought she was the
play.
Virgin Mary. She went to
Two
Lourdes.
glass eyes.
Yeah, she had cataracts
Oh, crater.
in the 60s and 70s.
What's the crack with glass eyes? Do you have to take them out and wash them like a bit of window cleaner or
Well,
whatever?
not really, but Mammy and
Like-
Daddy left us alone one time when, we went for a night out, and it just so happened that both her eyes started bleeding that night.
I think you might have said this. Yeah, yeah.
I remember a vivid memory. The other way, the crying Mary. I
Yeah.
think she was the Virgin Mariana. And she was blind. She'd sit on her big chair in front of spitting at the range, or spitting at the fire, And I'd go in and say, "Is that a stalactite?" That's not.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Do you remember,
but she used to call me Breda Fuca, and I think it's because she didn't know me and Ella were twins. So we used to run around her chair, saying things like just were tormenting her, I'm sure. And she probably thought that I was a fairy.
you thought you were
Breda Fuca was
the
my
one
name.
person. She thought you were
Yeah,
able to fucking
changeling.
shapeshift. Yeah.
Shapeshifter.
Move around the room. That's so funny.
Fuca, it's stuck. People
Imagine
still
the whole
call me Breda
time.
Fuca. Remember Katrina wrote it on my copy, Fuca, Fuca. Could be PHUCA. Anyway, but the teacher looked at it and she thought it was fucka, she's giving out to me, like, you can't. I said, it's not a curse, it's my name. It's my
Breda.
name.
Breda Fuca.
Breda Fuca, fuck off.
I had no nicknames in school. It's a shame.
That was my nickname. My
Except for a
aunt gave me.
pasty-face prostitute.
Oh, yeah, do that.
All tense on her face.
Oh, yeah, tell us about your fight.
Yeah, no, there was no fight. There was no fight. This is the thing.
Yeah,
I
Laura
just
got
thought I
involved.
had to fight. But there was one particular person in school that I don't know, they're mad at me for something I didn't do.
You mad at me?
She's mad at me. And she, like my friend Niamh heard her in the classroom going, that Laura Lavelle, that pasty face prostitute, I'll dance on her face. Breda quoting it, which to this day is actually a pretty iconic quote.
Oh yeah,
fair play to her.
That and
she must have just been having a bad day, you know what I mean? You know how it is. But then I was like, oh, okay, the time has come.
Yeah.
I now must fight for my honor. So I was
fight.
like, remove the earrings, remove the nose stud, tie the hair back, Vaseline, no joking.
Yeah.
And then I saw them then in the next class, and I was like, I heard you were looking for me. And then because you got to get them when they're on their own, you know, if they're with a group of people, they're more likely to, you know, jump you. But then she's just looking at her phone, looked up at me, and she said, I wasn't looking for you. And that was that. And I was like, all right then. Well, then we'll just leave it there. We're cool.
I never got into a fight in school. I was, you know, but there was a cultures versus
they were
the townies.
vicious in our school.
No, they were sound in ours with balanced law. It was kind of like there was only a few, but there was one fight I did saw. I was coming into the car park and this girl, she came past me. She jumped in the car and like launched on top of this girl and like, you know, like launched and just pulled her down by the hair. I was like, Jesus.
Wait, was she country on a townie? Or?
There were two country girls.
Oh yeah.
Fighting over a fella.
Animals. Fair play.
They were like ripping the, you know when they pulled onto the hair?
Sure, if they're
pulled onto the hair.
Dude,
like, oh,
I remember going
I'd rather
down.
get a punch in the face.
Yeah.
My
no
brother,
one would like proper square up. You know what I mean? It was always straight
John
from
got suspended from school for 2 weeks. You know why? Because he punched a boy in school that was slagging Claire.
Oh, fair play to him.
My sister Claire.
Actually,
John decked him. John was he had big fists like me. So when he punched him, he knocked him out. And he had like...
Oh, that's scary though. In case they're
I've killed him out. I don't know.
I've killed them.
Like he didn't really kill him, but like you just got a good old punch off him.
That was like a friend of mine in Limerick had to like get Copperberg. Do you know those bottles?
Yeah,
Copperberg. She had to smash that off someone's head once because they were just out of nowhere. Just two Limerick birds. Just I mean we're Limerick birds as well, but like they just jumped us. And well, I wasn't there actually.
Women fighting is scary, isn't it?
Actually, in my school,
like violence.
You'd go down the yard, and if there was a fight or whatever, they'd be like just tumbleweeds of hair. Do you know? Just a big tumbleweed of hair.
Oh my god, that's good.
And they'd pull the
hair.
I witnessed a girl.
That's what I do with short hair.
I witnessed a girl pull out someone's belly button ring.
Oh
yeah, it was fucking lit. Yeah, it was rough. She got it re-pierced though.
So will we do odd jobs?
ODDJOB.
Trying to think of other odd jobs I have. I suppose.
With the wedding we did.
We could talk about our first ever job.
Our first gig.
No, but like
our first ever job.
First time you work.
A petrol station.
Petrol station.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. Crazy Price was mine. That's great. That's actually the first job I had was I was in the carnival in Ballinasloe horse fair because my uncle lived beside the.
You're such funny.
So they used to always do the job. You know, it's the one where you throw like a 10p on the plate and get a goldfish.
Oh.
One time I was there, the goldfish, like 200 of them died. I don't know. The oxygen went out of the tank, and I was like,
what?
But that's okay. There's like hundreds, millions of them. Well, there's loads.
Yeah, but still, poor creators.
I know. I felt bad with goldfish. They really have a very small, short span.
Yeah, when they're in a tank with no oxygen. Yeah, I'm pretty sure their lifespan is pretty short.
No, it's kind of rough and ready, the whole carnival. You know what I mean?
I've met so many people who've told me that their fish died of suicide.
Mm.
You know, like I feel like every fish just doesn't want to be in a bowl, so eventually they jump out and they kill themselves.
Why would you? But we were so Ella was in the candy floss stall and I was so we're crossing each other. I was in the throw the penny on the plate or, you know, whatever. So we're only about like 14. And, but Davy, the fella that owned Mr. Toff, he was quite a big man with one eye and no teeth, right? And his wife was Maura, she basically looked like a lizard. You know, she smoked so much she'd gone to a shriveled lizard. And she's Major, and she's like, come on, Davy, Mara, you know. So they were our bosses, and they're so sound. Oh my god, they were like pure carnies, yeah. And then there was one I remember giving a fish, and that's grand. You give it the fish in the plastic bag, and that's grand. You say don't tie it now, you know. So then Davy was sitting on the ledge, and he'd sit on the ledge, but like the ledge would go down, and I'd be like thinking, you know, the creaking, and then this girl passed. I saw that she had a knot in the bag, and he just in the moment Leela loves the story. He grabbed the dart out of the wall because we also had a darts and cards. Grabbed the dart and just started running at her. Now he's a big man. So all she saw was this man with no eye and no teeth running at her with a dart, and he just stabbed the bag.
Gets fish in the neck.
Oh. Yeah. Like he was really decent. Like he just like the fish. They can't breathe. God, there was a great thrill though after 2 weeks getting a big wad of dirty, smelly cash. I was like, I fucking love money. I was like, oh,
you're a farmer, all right. No,
yeah. When I was a tour guide in Killarney, we were doing those jaunties.
Monies that you'd have to peel apart, you know, because they're like stuck together. That was like at the strip club.
They gave it to me back. They said, "Come back here," and he put a load of money. Because I'd say to the Yanks, you know, he told me this line. Billy's like, you know, you can't come to. It's like going to Venice and not riding the gondolas. Coming to Killarney and not doing the jaunts. And I was like, no, I might do it. I might get you a nice deal, you know. And then all 30 of them signed up straight away, you know, because I was going to sell. So then I used to get commission like £6 €6 per ticket. So that's why I put like a wad of cash in the back.
You could sell ice to the Eskimos. Is Eskimos a politically incorrect word?
You could say Eskimo. Inuit.
Or native to that land. Sell me that glass of water. Or sell me this jug. Sell me this butt jug.
Well, I'll tell you how to die right.
Sorry?
That's the Inuits. You know, that when the person's got too old and can't fend for themselves anymore, they just leave them out in the cold, in the freeze.
That is not.
That's true.
That it can't be true.
That's true.
Obviously an older practice, maybe.
Well, might still be going on, but you just have to see ya.
What?
Yeah.
I might be sometime.
Well, you'd probably get. Or then also do it in the Aboriginal culture. You just the old tribe. They just head off when they're old.
I want that to happen to me. Just like dig the hole and let me lie in it, or throw me into the sea. Let it be like that. But one of my first jobs was in a petrol station, right? And I just had the thought of I used to love this sweetie old man that used to come in for the pick and mix. This is before COVID times where pick and mix was decent thing to do.
Extortion though.
Yeah, and a friend of mine used to refill the sweets, you know, refill the fudge and all the bits. And we used to call him the fudge packer. And a turn of endearment. But the old man used to come up with a tiny bag of sweets, tiny, and then like about 40 in his cheeks, you know. And then I'd be weighing it and there'd be only fucking flumps and light shit in there, you know. And I was like, well, I count the 20 you have in his mouth, and he just the rice. Oh, I loved him. And then this one woman came up to me once, right? And
excuse me.
Give up them fags, Breda. Anyway, so this older woman came up to me once up to the till, and she was kind of leant on the tail. She leant on the tail. And she was looking back, talking to her friend. She was like, yeah, 1 second, Margaret. Can I get half pint of milk and the loaf of brown bread? Thanks, love. Anyway, Margaret. And I was like, this isn't fucking McDonald's, love. Do you know what I mean? I'm fucking working the till here. But Muggins here was like, oh, okay, yes, ma'am. Went back, got the bread and milk, came back, and she goes, and oh no, the smaller, the half pint. Anyway, so and then I said and I was like, oh my god. So meanwhile, there's people queuing up behind her.
Oh god,
and I was
saucy
like, what
bitch,
is happening here? Yeah, and then I came back and it was the wrong milk again, and I was like, you'll have to get it yourself. And then she was just like, that's fine, that'll do. And I was just like, oh my god, what? This isn't a takeaway. Do you know what I mean? And one woman came in once, a bougie woman, right, dressed in the nines, and she was like, hello, and I was like, hello. And she was like, I've been waiting out there for ages, and I was like, okay. Like, okay. And she was like, can you do the petrol, please? And I was like, bitch. I was like, this isn't fucking, you know, like build a bitch. No, dang it. Like
this is in America.
Yeah.
But
she had an Irish accent though. But she, you know, she was like kind of one of them.
She wanted to get
her
hand dirty with the petrol.
Yeah, maybe. But I went out and did it anyway. What a muggins I was.
I know.
You know when you're so young and you just let people boss you around.
Yeah.
And then one guy, I forgot to ask him, do you have petrol or diesel? And he went off without it. 40 quid's worth. And my manager came out and was like, yeah, this car didn't pay. and he showed me the footage of him coming to the till and paying for whatever else he's paying for and then leaving. And I thought it was like, oh my God, it's because I didn't ask him. When really it's like, he's a thief.
Yeah, he's a thief. Happened to me once, I drove off and then I was like an hour down the road. I was like, oh fuck, I never paid. And I ended up ringing them and saying, oh yeah, they're freaking out because it was like 60 quid or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, sorry, and then I was like trying to pay over the phone. I mean, that's fine.
Same with me. I had to one time I forgot my wallet and I had to leave my ID and things with them so that they could
Yeah.
And I was like, I used to work
it
here.
It easily be done, But
yeah, my friend did it once. They were just in such a bind that they were like, right, I have no money. I need to get home. They just put tape or put paper over their regis and just filled up and cracked on. What can you do?
What can you do? Bad karma.
Listen, well, it's not bad karma if you're
in
back
a bind. To bite you in the arse.
Do you know, sometimes
believe in that. What goes around comes around.
I do, and then at the same token, I feel like if someone is starving, you should be able to just take an apple.
I did a good deed of the day yesterday. I was on the way home, dropped Graham back from getting my hair cut, and I was in the car, and it was kind of drizzling and rain. It was like 1:00 in the morning, just on that road. The road as you're coming into the Liberties, from Walkinstown. Anyway,
yeah, going on.
It's a long road, and I was just driving, and I saw these two women just kind of waved at me, and then I just kind of thought to myself, oh, they're probably waiting. So I said, right, I'm turning back. So I went back. And I said, where are you going? Or do you want a lift? And then they're like, we're looking for a taxi. I said, I'll give you a lift. And I drove them home. They couldn't believe it. They were so delighted.
Oh my God, you're
women.
so sound.
But they're two older women.
So sisters. I'd be like, nah, man, that's fucking.
But in fairness, I actually.
That's the perfect combo there now. You wouldn't suspect them. Next thing, handbag. Shank. They take the Iris.
I could tell they were just freezing. They were just
the handbag straps.
She had the fucking scarf over her head, and she was just...
bollocks. That scarf was for choking you, but they decided not to.
They were give me a tenner and all. Then sure, I made a tenner. Then on the way home, they insisted. They're like, no, we're not leaving you off without. No. Just that's the nicest thing. They just come. I think their faith in humanity has been restored. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, anyone from the Liberty.
But it just was something that came over me saying, give them a lift there.
Very good. Yeah. I'd never pick anyone up. You're very brave
I'm
like that.
Picking...
What about the elf fella?
Oh yeah, I picked up the fella going out of Kinsale one time, and he got in. And first when he got in, he fucking stank. I was like, oh,
they always stink.
And I was supposed to. And it was fine. I cracked the window, and then he was chatting. He was getting off a river stick, which is only about a couple of miles up the road. And next thing, and he was chatting to me. I don't know how. Just talking. Maybe I don't know how it came about that. I was a lesbian, maybe. I don't know if that was what triggered him, but literally he wanted to come to Cork and be then. I was like, okay, fine. And then on the way to Cork, I noticed that he has his hand down his pants and he is wanking. And I was like, I did a whole teacher mode going, stop it now. Stop it, will you? I didn't know what to do. I was like, stop it. Just bringing my big teacher voice saying, would you put it, and then I couldn't because we're in a hard, Kinsale Road is there's no hard shoulder.
Oh, Jesus.
So I just
knew that
really fast. Oh, I knew that well. This wasn't the first time he did this.
Yeah.
The girl from Kinsale,
he was like,
he didn't pick up.
And now we're at the hard shoulder. He's got it timed.
Oh my God, timed. And I was like, and then he's apologising to me and I got out of the car. I said, get out. I pulled over. I was like, Jesus.
Where'd you pull over? What'd you do?
When I got to Cork, I'd say
you drove him all the way to Cork.
I sure wasn't going to put him inside the road.
For wanking, I would have fucking ejected the seat. Oh my God. I would have crashed the car to avoid it.
Imagine.
Do you remember we said that once? That we were driving home from Limerick and Breda was like, oh, do you ever just fart so bad that you'd want to crash the car to avoid the smell? And for some reason that just got me.
I know.
Or do you remember we were saying Breda was talking about having a wank while driving, and I was like, oh, I've never done it, Breda's
we say that be arrested.
Breda said
in the van when the van's in a big straight road.
I did it in the Irish though. Oh. But you were a next level again where you were watching porn on the phone.
Not, Laura. I was not.
There's no shame in it.
There is shame when
There
you're
is shame,
driving.
Yeah, no, I'm joking.
I don't. I was on the motorway.
No,
No,
but-
time, and the van is very. It's like driving a truck, so you'd be.
You just like get it from the vibration. No, sorry, we made the joke saying like, imagine you were driving wanking while watching porn, and then you crashed the car, and then the car is a mangle, right? And then all they hear from the rubble is like, to the left, a little to the left. It's like, she's alive. You know what I mean? Let's go get her. It's just like, yeah, almost, nearly there. And they're like, oh, it's porn. She's dead.
Well, she deserved it.
You know?
Oh no! Don't make fun of. It would be
Yeah, no, it's dire.
fun to make fun of car crashes. There wasn't so many of them.
No, let's not.
Anyway, let's not go there.
Yeah, because it's a subject
for the
some
last podcast. So so
But
I think we should do the Fanny song.
Speaking of wanking while driving, yeah, let's do the Fanny song.
We haven't brought Fanny.
Look at our bleeding deadly bags. It's amazing. Is that
that is
Nessa
Finnegan. That's it. She's exiled in Berlin as well.
This is Nessa Finnegan in Berlin, bleeding deadly.
Bleeding deadly.
We love it, and she holds.
Yeah, but we can talk about the Fanny because it was made in Cork by Francesca Castanelli. And because we'll talk about it. Let's do the little bit of the Fanny song, will we?
Yeah, let's do it.
I am Mary and Bridie and Mildred and.
Oh wait, I can't get the harmony. Yeah.
No, you should do this on the guitar. Mary and Bridie and Mildred and Nancy and Peggy and Velma, Velida, Jemima, Goo. Julie Goo, just help us up the Irish. Hi, Julie.
Great rapper.
I am Fuchsia, Flower Meadow, Love Hole. I'm a Swamp.
Well, she is wet and dangerous.
I'm a Snatch, Muff, Gee, Minge, Gant. Now, Gant is a Cork word. So I know that I wore my Gant hoodie down to Cork on a school tour. Gant across the chest. And this girl said to me, "Girl, do you know what Gant means? It's your gowl, you gowl." And I was like, "You're a gowl." She said, "No, you're a gowl." You're a gowl. No, you're a gowl.
No,
you're a gowl.
No, I'm a gal.
She's so beautiful. So that's how it came about. I said to Francesca, what'd be funny if it turned around and I was a gowl?
You could see the teeth and everything. Like, show me your teeth. Do you know that movie Teeth?
And so I'll explain how it's made. What's that? Because Francesca, I said, and she said, "I'll make you." I said, "We fine." She said, "I'll make you a fanny head. You get me some glue and some tights and some foam and." And I said, "Okay." And I was throwing stuff over the back wall to her. And she said, "You want eye holes in your vagina?" I said, "Yeah, sure." You want pubic hair in your vagina? Get me a black wig. So I got a wig. That was just happened to be in Richmond Hill. Or get me a wig, she says.
It was
that
fake.
wig was in Richmond Hill. And then she said, "Your vagina is ready." So I came over and that's what I was greeted with.
And a love affair had begun.
And then, so Laura, I used to wear it for Show Me the Fanny, Show Me the Funny. There was a competition in 2018. I won it called Show Me the Funny. And I was like, because I thought it was Show the Fanny because I had the Fanny song. And then Laura that year, with her black hair and everything,
stepped into
became
your life.
Fanny. So let's sing.
It's fate. Wait, you never complimented me on having my lips done.
Oh, yeah, true. We say, if you have any more jokes out there, I'd say, "You're vintage anyway, vintage, and got her lips done."
Do you know what Danny Beard said? She looks old, withered. And I was like, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
She had a gorgeous.
But in fairness, she's
enjoyed
in
her.
2018. So what's that now? 5 years ago?
Yeah, she needs a bit of TLC. But when I first met Breda, she had never washed her fanny, so I had to wash it in the bath. And I was like, "There's some fucking stink off her, Breda, some hum off her." Actually, do you know what I saw? You're gonna love this. You know, Kourtney Kardashian.
Yeah.
One of them. She has these like healthy gummies.
Yeah.
That she's plugging now as like. You take the sorry.
Keep an eye on the mic.
I can't fucking see anything in this fucking.
It's grand anyway.
I'm gee-eyed, but I'm just worried if you can hear me or not.
You can.
But she has these gummies where if you take them, it supposedly makes your vagina smell and taste sweeter. And I was like, dude, what a fucking misogynist product in a sense. Like, fair enough. Like, if it might be something fun, but don't plug something
You're
to
right,
people.
Fanny. Foo-foo,
New, woo-woo, hoo-hoo. I'm a foo-foo, new, woo-woo, hoo-hoo.
I'm a coochie cunt. Coochie cunt. Yay! How are you in yourself? How are you in yourself? How are you in yourself? We're talking about your mental health.
Okay, a bit of self-care.
That was the Fanny you just saw.
Oh, yeah.
I put her to bed now.
I've just cleaned up. We cleaned up.
And we're going to finish with self-care just for our season 1. And with a couple of them. How are you in yourself? Talking about your mental health.
Self-care is B12 supplements.
Oh,
I agree.
Shot. Self-care is sleeping without your phone.
It really is.
That is a very good one. Thank you.
It's so hard though.
I know it, but just have discipline, Laura. Self-discipline.
Do you know when you're just like in your head and thinking about things that you really embarrassed yourself, you know, and then you're like, oh, distraction, phone.
No, but just sit with it, like meditation.
Self-care is having a spicy curry today to give your boyfriend that tingly feel tomorrow night.
I don't know anything about heterosex. Self-care is turn on, like tune in, drop out.
Self-care is same for same, boys. Boyos it is for the gals. Get your pussy waxed and have a rockin' D-filled weekend.
Way.
Sorry, the handwriting is hard.
Self-care is buying things I can't afford to fill the void. I mean, it's self-care for a while, but then
it's also
all goes south.
It's also a symptom of bipolar. Self-care is taking myself on adventures and stopping to smell the flowers.
Oh.
I can smell my flowers, though.
Self-care is battery operated.
Self-care is celebrating myself.
Oh, that was
good.
Well, we do. That's the end of our season 1, and celebrate ourselves, believe in yourself. You could have the whole world. This could be yours.
With 3 payments.
And this is Brazil. Actually, good. This is Brazil. Thank you to Felipe for having us in
Brazil.
There's Brazil.
All right.
Okay. Yes, we'll see you in season 2 for lots more guests and lots more fun. And thanks to Aoife Ryan and the decks.
Yeah, Aoife. Do you want to come in? Come in. I'll stay. She wants to stay mysterious.
Okay, well, see you next time.
We love you.
We love you. Thanks for tuning in.
Woo! Bye.